Hello guys, it is that panda guy. I'm here again with another video, and today I'm here with something you hopefully find interesting. I had a lot of fun this event, and I think you guys are gonna have a lot of fun hearing about what mistakes I made, how I could have improved, and just kind of how I handled the situation I was faced with. Um, First off, I want to say that we were in a tight spot because we were kind of getting held down by this one player, and we basically wanted to. So my thought process was, I'm gonna put this tower near our territory, so basically we are able to jump into the tower really fast. And if it's, let's say for example guys, you know how if you're building further off the territory, especially an island raid, you can't just teleport beside the tower, even if like you don't, like, nobody owns the land. And the biggest thing is, like, it's because you're not allowed to teleport wherever you want. So basically we were thinking we're going to put this kind of close to our other tower, which honestly I should have placed it a little bit closer, or closer to a base that we could hop through, to make our defense a little bit easier. But I do think that we placed it okay. Could have been better. And you guys also noticed that I defend with the Regro and Martin, and in most cases, actually every case I could recommend, I'd say to defend with Tom, and maybe Lewis slash Tom, right? And I kind of want to say, like, the reason I didn't put Lewis instead was for one reason, and kind of two. And one big reason was I kind of needed a defender on my base, and honestly I should have just shielded and done this because it was being like stupid of me, and I probably should have. But at the same time, I also kind of needed Martin here because my Tom isn't the best, and because his fourth skill isn't really that high up. Like, I still need to get my Martin, or sorry, my Tom better. And I wanted to do the Regro Martin duo because, for multiple reasons. So if you guys don't know, one of Regro's skills is kind of a counterattack damage, meaning that in the situation where he's getting swarmed, he is pretty efficient and he is doing his job pretty properly. You guys also notice that I'm jumping from base to base with my accounts. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that's so I can defend without getting my marches beat down, because as you guys know, I'm actually getting my marches guarded right now, so I'm having to jump from base to base, and it's a really frustrating process because I'm doing this on 6 accounts. Like, I'm jumping from base to base on 6 accounts. And if you guys don't know, when you're building a tower, it's way different than a tower that's already built, where if you're building a tower, you can only send one march, and if a tower is already built, you can send multiple marches to reinforce that tower. So basically what I have to do is I have to recall a troop or a march, and I have to jump the marches through the bases over and over and over, and I have to repeat this process. And it is not easy to do it on multiple accounts while keeping a tower that's being swarmed alive. And I know I'm talking really fast, but I do hope you guys kind of get the drift. So this is a really stressful situation, and I am going at top speed I can. And you guys, I was thinking of including the clicking sounds. I might not. You guys might hear some clicking, and it is just intense. Like, you guys hear me dragging like super fast, jumping from account to account. And like I was saying, like, having Martin as a secondary here is just for his healing property, and I really need that because in the case of especially building a tower, the healing property is just going to be the thing that keeps it alive, because, well, we're in a bad situation and we kind of need as many troops as possible staying in that tower. That's why Tom is so extraordinary as an attacker, like a rallier, a defender, anything. Like, Tom is such an amazing hero, and this is why he's excelling in situations like these. I've been working on my Tom, and I think he might be ready to replace my Regro. And honestly, I am so glad because, I mean, although Regro isn't bad, he is not as good as Tom in these situations, and Tom could excel just that much better. And yeah, I mean, in this situation though, I do think that the defenders were all right. We did take mostly good trades on the tower. It was just really hard keeping it alive, and it's actually really sad because, spoiler alert guys, we lose the tower in like the last minute of building it. Like, the last minute. We are doing this for like 20 minutes ish, right? Like, we are fighting to defend this tower as hard as possible. And like, it's so hard to put into perspective how hard it is to defend like a building tower like this, right? Like, these troops are tanking so fast, and I have to find a way to try to jump my marches from base to base over and over, and making sure that my main account keeps its like garrison there, because I can't recall, I can't just send another one because they need me to garrison unless it was like a different person garrisoning. And you guys see a rally getting launched right there, and I mean, I think the only time they really took positive trades were on the rally. So we did take really good trades during this whole thing, and I think it was a win in a way. but it did suck that we weren't able to get the tower down, because if we got the tower down, we'd be able to port onto that area and we'd be able to defend it properly. Because like I think our defense, defending is a good area for us, but it's just not. It wasn't ideal in like this type of situation. You know, we couldn't really do much, and we didn't have much of an area to excel in. But I mean, you guys see this, and it was just really fun overall. I mean, I think that we did an amazing job defending, and it did make for good content that you guys can watch and learn from. So like in this situation, especially if like you have someone holding your marches down, I recommend trying to build this as close to one of the bases as possible. And this is one of the problems that we had. I should have probably ported an account here or closer to the tower before they started getting their marches in, because you guys see that little gap like in the top right corner of those marches. I could have put an account there and basically been jumping from that base, but then I was forced to jump like 2 more bases because of that, and that I didn't do that, right? And you guys see like there's that whole gap area, but since their marches are surrounding the tower, it kind of like cucks me from teleporting an account there. You also see my base getting hit in the top left, and honestly, I don't have wrath or fury or whatever you want to call it, so I can shield at any time. But I was just thinking I might as well get these kills. And I also want to say that Raygro is one of my main heroes on my wall, which I'm going to be swapping him out for Tom. And I do a Lewis Raygro duo, and I kind of want to explain why. One reason being that Lewis is just a really good hero in general. His AoE, his skill damage, he's just a really good damage per second hero. And you guys see, I put Lewis and May on my wall, and I'm not really sure how I feel about that. The skill damage was okay and good, but I probably should have put Tom, because that would have been optimal. And it's not like my Tom is complete balls, but I didn't want to do that, right? And it probably wasn't the best choice looking back at it. But I mean, you guys get the point. I did do better than average, I'd like to say, right? Like I didn't do a bad job defending and reinforcing and just everything overall, but I could have excelled in many other places. I also want to mention that you guys see a lot of people get their marches beat trying to reinforce like my base or something, and I should have said not to reinforce me, but like I'm in a really frustrating spot, right? Like I'm controlling 7 accounts at once. I don't usually have time in fighting situations to go into chat and try to tell people how to play, right? Like I don't want them reinforcing my base this far out. Like I have my base in a position, and this was from random porting, to where it can kind of catch some marches from just moving in, and that's what my main goal was most of the time here, right? Like this is why I enjoyed this spot, and I had random teleported up here like long before our towers reached here, so I was already in this spot, and it was just like a really annoying, because I honestly should have teleported onto land or by one of our towers, because I'm not really sure 100%, but I'm assuming that towers, like the area around it, the research is probably gonna be buffing at your alliance research. So it's not like I had the alliance research buffs kind of applying to my shelter like I should have, which really actually sucked, because I definitely should have had that. So like even if I was getting hit or whatever, I was taking way better trades. And you guys kind of can see like my trades were worse after taking Raygro off my wall as well, because Raygro is just, I like his tanky properties, as well as the fact that when I do like a Raygro Lewis duo, I can put 2 different troop types in my wall. And I mean, like Raygro is just a tanky hero, and his counter attack damage is really good for kind of countering these swarms. You know what I mean? Because he has a skill that kind of does counter attack, meaning like let's say you have multiple marches hitting him, they're going to be doing all this damage. And you guys see right here, there was a march trying to reinforce me, and it gets beat down. Like this is why I didn't want them reinforcing me, but I just didn't have time to even see this stuff while I was doing it. I left my phone to record, and I was just swiping through my accounts. And I mean, I think we kind of got destroyed because of this rally. Like although we were taking really good trades, the rally kind of evened it out a lot more, and it just put us in a worse spot. And you guys see all this AoE just hitting these marches trying to go into the tower, and that kind of just like cuts off a big chunk of stuff. I mean, I'm gonna be honest though, TBZ lost so much, but they did such a good job at swarming this tower and making sure they didn't stop. Like you guys see them having constant marches, moving in, and they just didn't give up. And I'll show the report after this whole video. Like it's gonna be near the end of the video if you guys want to see it. But I mean, this was like pretty spectacular just show. You guys get to see everybody going ham. You guys get to see tier 6 hitting my base. But yeah, I mean, this was pretty cool. And I just wish I had Tom here, right? Like Tom would have been so amazing on this tower, and this is like why I recommend having either like Tom or Lewis, and both if you can up, because they're so good. And I do Lewis as my main hero on let's say Waller's tower, right? Like if I can choose a hero to have, like if I had to choose between Regro and Lewis or Tom and Lewis, right? I would go Lewis. And I kind of want to explain something to you guys. So when doing Lewis, I have a Garrison talent for him, right? Like, and I leave him on his Garrison build because in basically every fight, I'm not using Lewis as my main hero or as a like main hero even on the field because I use him as a support to my Lee, and that's for his AoE properties, which Lee also has area of effect damage, meaning they're basically dishing out double the area of effect damage, as well as Lee being. I mean, he's good, right? And I can basically have two range marches by spreading out my Lee, sorry, my Lewis into one march and then Maya in another march. So it works out really well. And I leave a Garrison talent because he's a support hero for me. And that also means that he excels even more than the other heroes in defending, as well as the fact that he's a DPS hero, meaning like damage per second. Like he's a really good damage hero. And that's why I enjoy him. And having, Tom in them as a support doesn't hurt me because I still get their skills, but it's not like their talent tree is as useful to me because like I usually keep a field tree for them, right? I also don't know if you guys noticed this, but my base is getting hit, and while this is happening, his marches will get like one of his marches might go down, but he'll just keep sending another march, and that's to make sure my wall doesn't refresh. And when my wall actually gets in the red zone, I do end up shielding and popping it, and that was just to refresh my troops in my base, because like let's say he's hitting me and my wall is already yellow, right? And I have 3 million troops originally, my troops might be down half of that to 1.5 mil. But if my wall recovers, like let's say he disengages from combat, hits me again, basically all those lightly wounded troops go back into the battle and only the heavily wounded are excluded, right? So he basically be fighting the same amount of troops minus maybe 200,000 that he put in the hospital. So he's trying to keep my wall from re-engaging or just healing itself basically by making sure I can't leave combat. And I mean that's why I end up shielding later, and I just drop it right away to keep getting my kills without burning because I don't want to burn here. Sorry if I'm talking a lot, guys. I'm just trying to keep this entertaining, kind of explain everything and how I think, right? Like I have to think of so much while playing because I mean, controlling 7 accounts at one time really isn't easy. And I think I make it look a little bit easier than it is, but it really isn't. Like I struggle, and it is a pain. It is a pain sometimes, but I enjoy it because it makes everything more exciting and it makes my job a little bit harder. And I mean, I like struggling. Like it might sound weird, but I love to struggle a little bit, you know? But yeah, I mean, you guys, it's, and the biggest problem about me doing Rhaegar on the tower alone is that I can't really be flexible with my troop types here. And I don't know if you guys noticed that, but like I was saying earlier, the reason I like doing Lewis and Rhaegar is because I'm able to do two different troop types, right? Like, but when I'm doing Rhaegar on Martin here, I kind of like forcing myself into only doing infantry. And if I do send like let's say riders or range troops, I'm basically taking worse trades than I would be if I sent infantry, right? Like that is the biggest issue here. I don't know if you guys can also see Artemis trying to actually guard my troops from reinforcing, because eventually I stopped doing the base jumping thing because it's like getting a little hard, and I end up just sending my marches and recalling them because it's really hard to just keep jumping. And I mean, this swarm is just mad. Like it is mad. And there you go. You see me shield and I drop it because I want some more kills. I'm like, give me that mess. Thank you. Thank you. And I can't heal. But I mean, guys, I had so many healing speed ups, like it is insane. Like I can't even explain how many speed ups I have because I ran through at least like 200 days worth of healing. Like I swear, I ran through so many days of healing, and I mean it was worth it for me because I've been waiting for this type of event forever, and it's just what I needed. And there you go, guys. You guys see my tower plop into nothing. It had like 1 minute left, literally 1 minute. I was so mad. I was so mad looking at that. I was like, no. But I showed the report here in a minute. This is just me looking at my base getting hit, think he gave up after the tower. I think he was trying to like stop me from hitting, or sorry, defending properly, but I didn't really care about like what he was doing in my wall. And I also think I do hit right here. You guys see me trying to hit this, and I thought he was going to try to hit my marches, and he doesn't. But the reason was they didn't have any troops here, and it was only like one or two marches that were in the thing. But the biggest issue here is like when you're hitting a watchtower, right? If they even have one march in, I can swarm it with five. And especially if they're using like Regro and it's a good captain holding it, it's so hard for me to take it down because of Regro being such a tank master, and it would take forever, right? And I should have just recalled, but I try to stick it for a little bit more, and then I see more people jumping in, and I'm like, man, I give up. I don't have it, and I had to back off. But I wanted to destroy this before it even got down, and it was rough. It was a little bit rough. I do think I took good trades off here, but I still didn't really like beat the tower nonetheless. So feels bad, guys. I mean, you guys see how it be. Actually, I don't even know if I took positive trades. I think I took negative trades. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens when you hit towers. It doesn't matter how many marches you have. It's so hard to take good trades unless like the person holding it has bad tech or you have overwhelming advantage. But here, you guys get to see the report off the tower swarm. And to be fair, we took really good trades, I think, compared to them. We also like get a lot more injured compared to them because we are defenders. And I'm sorry, I'm lagging a lot here, guys, so you're not gonna be able to see it the best, but it still was pretty. I still get to go through the reports here, and I mean, you guys get to just see the overwhelming difference in the reports. So, like I said, I do think we won in a sense here, but we did end up losing on the tower defense. So, I mean, you can take it how you want. It was still pretty exciting. I mean, you got to consider like when they're swarming the tower, like I'm the leader of it, right? So like my technology is going to be basically defending it, and swarming and just taking it down is not easy, especially with how hard we were reinforcing and keeping the rally topped off. The only person taking positive trades here was Artemis. I will say this rally took really good trades, and I think it's because just overwhelming amount of marches, just hitting this tower at once. I don't even know if they're called chat towers. I just call it that. But it looks like the video is coming to an end, and I really do appreciate you guys for stopping by and taking some time out of your day to watch this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I do hope you guys have an amazing day, and peace out.